I am a Pan-Africanist, not just in Pan-African. There are so many Pan-Africanists.
Which one?
Because Cecil Rhodes was also a Pan-Africanist. Yes. Because he wanted to unite the entire African continent from Cape to Cairo, but under the dominion of the British Empire. Yeah. The first factor that contributes to inequality in South Africa is racism. It's racism. Where white people control 85% of the economy. 85%. You go in the corporate sector, 62% of managers are white. In a country where you have probably 85% or where the majority of the population are black people. The only thing that the ANC has is a position in the ANC is actually the ruling party, not the ruling class. There's a difference between the ruling party and the ruling class.
And we thank you too. We finally made it. YouTube decided to start paying us, and life has changed. You know, I'm kidding. We actually are privileged to bring the podcast today to today's guest. I'm joined by somebody who's my youth leader at church. So we're looking fancy because we just come from a church service. But most importantly, he's a former leader in the youth league back in his days in the VUT. I'm joined by the amazing Silas Kazadi. What's happening, bro?
Nothing much. I'm just happy to
be here.
I'm happy to be here.
Happy to be here
I'm happy to be here, and I'm also happy that some people are going to watch us, and hopefully this session is going to be informative.
Off the top, I got this from you a few minutes ago, and I'm just gonna say it because we didn't even begin yet. You told me you hate the PA just a few minutes ago. What's the beef about?
Oh, the Patriotic Alliance.
Yes.
No, the Patriotic Alliance, you know, I'm a supporter of the EFF, economic freedom fighters, and not just supporters. Probably recently, maybe I did not renew my membership, but I've been a member of the.
So serious? You don't have like membership?
Yes, I've been a member of the economic freedom fighters. I've been a member of the Economic Freedom Fighters Student Command, and I also served as the chairperson of Economic Freedom Fighters Student Command at the Valley University of Technology. Yeah, I served as a convener, as a chairperson. I serve also as a member of the SRC. I occupy different leadership positions.
That's a lot of titles. Your time in the VUT, of course.
Yes, exactly. That's my home. VUT is my home. That's my home.
You could also just take us through that journey of, you know, some of the roles and responsibilities you occupied. What was life like back then as a leader? Did leaders like you more because of the role you occupied? You know, just some of the dynamics of how things happened.
No, to answer your question on the Patriotic Alliance. No, those are just opportunists.
Okay.
You know,
that might seem offensive to the PS supporters of the show.
No, it's a you know, we are intellectuals. We are bound to speak the truth, to speak our minds all the time. We are intellectuals. So they are just opportunists. Those ones are just opportunists. We cannot use the plight of black people to enrich ourselves. So that's what their leaders are doing. Look at the leaders. Just look at the top two. You have Gayton and you have Kenny Kunene. What is the message that they are giving, that they have for black South Africans? I'm talking about the black ones. For black people, the majority of this country, what is the solution? They don't have any solution. They just wake up in the morning and shout, "Amahambe, Abahambe, Abahambe." Okay, if you chase all Zimbabweans, all Congolese, all Nigerians, all African immigrants, do you think it's going to resolve the problem of South Africa? No. If you want to understand South Africa, you must not understand South Africa for the past 5 years, 10, 15, not even in 1994. You must go back to 1652. When Jan van Riebeeck reached the Cape of Good Hope, when he came back, actually.
Okay, so that was not his first time.
No, that wasn't his.
In many circumstances, we thought that this is his very first time.
No, that was his very first time. I can refer you to a book. Maybe I will remember the book. It says, I think it's red and black cover, something like that. If you read, it goes, I think 15th or 16th century. I was live in this part that is called now. That is, the book is, I think it's written by Tariq Millet, something like that. I think it's a colored scholar. He wrote something like that. You need to read it. They came first, and then they envied the place. They went back to Netherlands, and they came back. And then they came back.
So
that's when the problem started in South Africa. And the English came. They fought to have dominion of the black people. And when they reconciled, by the way, the British won the war. I think it's called the Anglo-Boer War. They won the war, but they had to reconcile so that they can live together. So they united all the four republics. They reconciled so that they can have dominion over black people, and they formed the Union of South Africa. And they passed laws like the Land Act in 1913. They dispossessed the black people. That's when they dispossessed the black people. They passed laws, the Group Area Acts. We came to exactly. That's when the oppression of the black people. Actually, that's the story of the oppression of black people in this part of Africa. I don't want to call it South Africa, because Africa is just a geographic location. I said this part of Africa. Yes, I am a Pan-Africanist, not just in Pan-African. There are so many Pan-Africanists. Because Cecil Rhodes was also a Pan-Africanist.
Yes, he was.
He wanted to unite He was a Pan-Africanist because he wanted to unite the entire African continent from Cape to Cairo, but under the dominion of the British Empire. I'm a Pan-Africanist. Actually, I can call myself a Nkrumahist.
Okay.
I follow the Pan-Africanist of Kwame Nkrumah, where Africans must unite under one country, under the United States of Africa, one president, one currency. By the way, you are from Congo, according to, if you read the book Africa Must Unite, because a lot of people have been, especially in this part of Africa, some people that are pessimistic. Is it pessimist or pessimistic? They think it's just a pipe dream that has been solved. No, but if you read the book Africa Must Unite, Kwame Nkrumah has given the structure that it needs to. That's the framework that we need to adopt so that we can reach the United States of Africa. By the way, Kinshasa supposed to be the capital city of the United States of Africa.
Wow.
Yes,
so
because
that is the Congo, for those who do not know,
yes,
the capital city of the Congo.
Yes, if you understand the African, those who understand the African continent must understand. Should understand that the Congo is the heart of Africa.
But you know our leaders. You know what Africa is and where it is right now. Do you think that's even possible? With
the correct leadership, we had that leadership in the time of Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
In 1963, when they met in Addis Ababa, there was a debate, a very strong debate between the Casablanca bloc with Kwame Nkrumah, Nasser, some radical leaders. We had the Moronvia group with Nyerere and the others. So Kwame Nkrumah lost the debate. The Moronvia group, led by Julius Nyerere, they all believed in that Africa must unite, but it was the framework. How do we reach to that United States of Africa? But after time, people realized that Kwame Nkrumah was right. Because Kwame Nkrumah was step ahead. He was kind of a prophet. He foresaw the future. These people did not understand what colonialism was all about. Neo-colonialism. He understood what neo-colonialism was all about. They undermined the power of neo-colonialism. This is what Nkrumah said. If we don't unite now, the colonialists will come back. And he came back, and they started with the Congo. They killed Lumumba, who was the adopted political son of Kwame Nkrumah. And Kwame Nkrumah is probably the only leader at that time who supported the Congo, because he saw that if the Congo, the political situation in Congo degenerate, the entire continent will follow. And this is what happened. Today, Africa is still what it is because the Congo is in that state. That's why you see the Congo has been destabilized over the years, because that's the heart of that's the heart of Africa. The development of Africa depends on the Congo. Even Frantz Fanon said that Africa is the shape of a gun and the Congo is the trigger. If that trigger explodes, Africa will explode. You can take it both ways. If it explodes positively, Africa will prosper. If it happens negatively, this is what happened. Africa is still a mess. So coming back to the peer, they are just opportunists. Those one are just no. Those one are just opportunists. They are just opportunists. They don't have anything to offer to the South African people.
So to kind of not counter them, because I'm not a PM member, but I was looking at your video this morning. When you were still banging it in the EFF. I think it's one of those you sent me. It was like, I think it was like a stadium.
Yeah, that was an amphitheater. Yes.
And I said to myself, this man had so many fans. Now, I don't know if those were all fans, but I was looking at
no.
And I said, this is like something. Oh man.
Nah, when I was into politics, actually one of my strongest points is when I believe into something, I do it with my whole heart. If I don't believe into something, there are more chances I'm not going to do it, because I always believe that I was created to bring about change, positive change in people's life. That has been my belief for more than 15 years, that I was born to bring positive change into people's lives. So wherever I am, I must do that. So when I went when I was a student, I led in different structures. President of Congolese student, I was the deputy president of international students. That's when I had friends who were in SASCO, the South African Student Congress. SASCO is aligned to the ANC. I had friends. At that time, the then deputy president, who became acting president of the SRC, we were close. And also there were some students who were in SASCO, but they decided to go to the EFF, to start building the EFF in VUT, because at that time it was EFF. They started building the EFF from scratch in VUT. Both sides were quoting me,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to join them. Yes, I used to support the ANC. I'm not because the ANC, when you are outside of South Africa, the only political party that you know is the ANC.
Sure.
The history of South Africa, they will tell you about Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, especially that Thabo Mbeki was involved in the peace process in the DRC and all those things.
Well, yeah,
that's the only thing. Yes. Those were the only thing that I knew about South African politics. But when you come here, it's true the ANC that time it was still the ANC. But when Julius Malema was expelled, when they formed the EFF, certain time the message is more about the message. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm also a socialist. Okay. I'm also a socialist. I don't believe in capitalism, in this free market. Maybe you believe in free market, but I'm not a free market. I'm not a free market person. I believe in socialism, and thirdly, I'm a communist. I wouldn't even say a socialist. I'm a communist. I don't believe in private property.
You would be a fan of, like, let's say a Mobutu?
No. That one was a capitalist, a tool in the hand of the imperialists to mess up that country called Zaire. He was involved in the death of Lumumba. The leaders that I prefer: Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, Mao, Lenin,
Gaddafi, no?
Muammar Gaddafi, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba. Here in South Africa, you have Julius Malema, who is my preferred,
which is where I actually want to
Julius Malema, Robert Sobukwe, all these, Thomas Sankara, who's my Every day I used to have a big picture of Thomas Sankara in my room. I will wake up in the morning, I was like, I want to be like you.
Sure.
Yes, Thomas Sankara, all these revolutionary leaders. Yes.
But you tend, as I said before, you tend to have referred the EFF, and I just want to understand what they're doing differently to the ANC.
The ANC.
Both sides were courting you, but you went with the EFF.
Yes, I went. I went with the EFF. But then, it was the secretary of the EFF at that time, who's now is a member of My Boy Africa. He went a member of My Boy Africa now, and the one who was, well, we knew each other. He suggested to me one day that, do you want to go to the SRC? I was not interested in those things. I wasn't interested in those things. But I believe it was 2014, after the election. Was it 2014, 2015? Yeah, when the EFF was, no, the election in South Africa was 2014. Well, general election, there was general election in 2014. The EFF got 6 or 8%. Yeah, I think they 6 or 8%, so they had 25 members in parliament. The thing with the EFF was, it's the message. They actually went, the message that they were giving. The message.
Has it changed from the message they're giving right now?
No, the ANC at that time already forgotten. They've forgotten why they were elected. Why they were elected. Actually, the ANC was elected to change the lives of ordinary black people.
Yeah, the average black person.
Yeah, did it change? I doubt that it changed, because black are still depressed in this place. I'm pro-black. Wherever I go, I will support the black person. As I was saying, if I go outside, I see a fight between you and a white person, I will join you. We'll beat that white person. We'll beat that.
But we're not promoting. For purpose of clarity, we're not promoting. I don't know if that's.
No, me, this is my view. That's my view. I go out there.
Nothing to do with this.
I find that you are having a fight with a white person.
Yeah.
We'll beat him together, and then I'm gonna ask you, why are you fighting? Why are you? What did you do?
Sure.
Yes, I will join you, because I'm pro-black. I'm pro-black, pro-Africa. Support black people all over the world, and the oppressed people all over the world. Wherever the oppressed people are oppressed, I will take the stand of the oppressed people, especially black people.
Yeah.
So to come back to your question, the EFF was the message. I read founding manifesto of the EFF. If you read the founding manifesto, the seven cardinal pillars of the EFF. The first one says expropriation of land without compensation for equal redistribution. I believe in, actually, the EFF, that word expropriation. Maybe one day I will understand why they use the word expropriation. I believe in repossession. The land belongs to black people. We don't have to negotiate. No, it's still now it's in the hand of the black people. Yeah, technically it's in the hand of the white. How can a minority control, I don't know, 78 or 80% or 85% of the land here? Black people don't have the land here.
Power. It's a power game.
Yeah, it's a power. That's why we need to take it back. We need to take it back. I believe in that, in repossession. I believe in repossession, because you expropriate something that is not legally yours.
Yeah.
But I believe, because the EFF they believe in social democracy. They want to do it through a constitutional process, amending the constitution. But me, my position aligns a bit with the PAC, that they believe in repossession of land, because it belongs to us. We just wake up one day in the morning, you see a piece of land, occupy that piece of land. You occupy that piece of land, you build your house. If you want to farm, you farm. I believe in nationalization. I think there's a cardinal pillar that speaks of nationalization of mine and all strategic sectors of the economy. Yes, I believe in that. Nationalization, free education. So that's the message. That's actually when the EFF, especially at that time with Julius Malema, who was very vibrant, and at that time also Floyd Shivambu, that I appreciate. because of his intellect is no longer in the EFF. You had also Mbuiseni Ndlozi, who is no longer in the EFF. But the message of the EFF, that's what attracted me. That was the message of the EFF.
So yeah, you and I have spoken about this a lot of times, where you have this belief that you feel young people should be much more involved in politics.
Of course.
Particularly in this day and age. And for every other young person watching this who may not yet understand that, what are some of your reasons for wanting the youth to be involved in politics?
The youth is the future. The youth is the future of tomorrow.
Interested in politics.
That's a serious problem. I believe there's a former president of Chile. Is it Chile? Salvador Allende said something like that. If you are young, if it's not him, it's probably Ho Chi Minh. His name is Ho Chi Minh, from Vietnam, who said if you are young and you are not involved in politics, or you are not a revolutionary, you can't be young. If you are young and you are not a revolutionary, it's a biological problem.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because the youth is the future. The youth is the future. And if you're not involved in what politicians do, people usually say, I'm not interested in politics.
Yeah.
Politics is taking care of all of us here. A group of people will meet, they will pass laws that are going to affect you, whether you like it or not. A group of people will wake up in the morning and loot the money that was the money of healthcare, money for education, money for safety. They will loot that money. It's going to affect all of us. There's no one who is immune and say, me, I'm not affected by politics. And now imagine you let a group of people, let's say you have someone who's 70 years old. That one is gonna die anytime. Anytime he can die. And that person is gonna take decisions that are going to affect you at 20 years old. In the next 15 years, you are 35, you are still young. You will be affected by the decision that were taken 15 or 20 years ago. Today, you are still affected by the decision that were taken by some people 50 years ago. We are in South Africa. We still experience. People can say apartheid is there. No, it's still there. By the way, I always say that until today, I'm yet to see a black intellectual that is better than Verwoerd.
Okay.
I'm not attacking black intellectual. I'm just saying that's my position.
You are indirectly.
Because that man woke up in the morning, he came up with a philosophy called apartheid, separate development.
Sure.
Until today, black people are still feeling the pain of that decision. It created a system that black intellectual cannot destroy. The system is still there.
It is.
Some people were young at that time. They are affected by those decisions. Some decided to fight. Now you come to the youth of today. I always say that this is one of the most useless youth I've ever seen in my life.
That's harsh.
Oh, it is true. It's harsh, but it is true.
You're gonna have to give your reason.
What are they doing today? What are they doing? What are these young people do? The last generation, at least, that tries the generation of Fismas fall of 2015, 2016. Those were probably the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
At least they try. These ones were born from 1998, 2000. Yeah. Oh, come on.
I was hoping you put in the list.
No, I generalize. Yes, because they still need to prove that they are capable of carrying on with this revolution.
Oh. I hear you.
So now if you are young, you are not involved into politics.
Yeah. I think Joseph could remember this. We once went to an event of Mr. Fazan, one of my mentors, and he said, it's like when you're saying, it's okay, I don't do politics. It's okay because politics will do you.
Exactly.
Because the fact that there's going to be load shedding tonight is politics. The fact that the price is increasing and the price of maize has increased is politics. So like this thing has an effect and there's an impact on us,
Exactly.
directly or indirectly.
Exactly.
So it's very ignorant for you to sit and go, I don't do politics.
Exactly.
Oh,
Not just any politics.
yeah.
You must be young and being, especially if you are black. You are a black person who has been historically oppressed. You need to be a revolutionary. You need to fight to get what you want. If you want a better future, you fight today. You fight today.
Yeah.
There are no jobs in South Africa today. Today, all these things that you see, some groups that wake up in the morning, they saying that we are doing what the government is not doing. I'm speaking of Dudula. You have Operation Dudula that they wake up in the morning. They are just misguided. They are misguided. Probably they don't even understand. That's what I'm saying. President Mbeki usually say, if the diagnosis is wrong, the medication or the solution will be wrong. As I said, if you want a diagnosis of South Africa, the political party that actually understand what is the plight of South Africa is the EFF. Because they don't come and want to heal the symptoms. What you see, the problem with FK, Dudula standing, immigrant, they are saying they speak of illegal immigrant, but you ask yourself, are you referring to illegal immigrant or are you referring to all immigrants? They are just hypocrite. They don't like black immigrant. That's actually Afrophobia. We need to come. What is the root cause of all the problems here in South Africa? Yes, there is what we may call illegal immigration. Is it a problem or is it a symptom? Is it a problem or is it a symptom? What do you want to heal? A lot of politicians want to heal the symptoms. Corruption is not a problem, it's the symptom. This is where the DA comes with a lot of lies. They want to tell you that the problem in South Africa is corruption. No, because some of them, DA members, have been corrupt because they have the media houses in the pocket. Some of them are members of the DA. They cannot expose the DA corruption. They can only speak of corruption of the ANC, because they even know that if you speak of corruption, because black people, when you mention them corruption, they get so angry. You say, no, the ANC is corrupt, the ANC is corrupt. They will even tell any black leader that without proof, without fact that they are corrupt, they call everyone corrupt. That's a word that the DA just misuse. And it might work for them. It might work for them for now, but after some time it's not gonna work. Now, what is the problem in South Africa? What is the problem in Zimbabwe? What is the problem in the Congo? What you see in the Congo with all the mess there? Because we also have I'm sorry, but we are led by stupid people. They don't even understand what's the problem in the Congo. The war a problem, was it a symptom? It's not a problem, it's a symptom of a problem.
So the problem of the problem in that case would be?
It's neo-colonialism. Okay. The Congo must be destabilized. That's the plan of the West. It must be destabilized. With all the mineral resources that are needed today, you need copper, you need cobalt, you need gold, you need coltan, you need diamond. The world needs it.
Yeah.
Today we speak of electric vehicles. You need lithium. You have all those minerals in the Congos. Because if the Congo is stable, how would they get it at a cheaper price? They're not going to get it at a cheaper price. Congo can wake up in the morning and say we are going to process all the minerals in DRC. You will come and buy from us. So, that's capitalism. When you speak of free market, I'm surprised you are the defender of free market. That's free market for you.
Well, I never said I'm a defender of free market. But, I'm
free market, because that's how free market works. For you, for the United States to be what it is, they must oppress some people. For all these superpowers that you see, one must be oppressed. That's the problem with capitalism. And there's a relationship between capitalism and racism. Those two go together. It's the two sides of the same coin. Where there's capitalism, there's racism.
Okay.
Where there's racism, you will see capitalism there. And it's usually anti-black racism.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
No, there are so many scholars. You can have an example of South Africa.
Yeah.
DA will always tell you, South Africa with this fancy English of John Steinesen. South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. Who said that? Yes, it's the World Bank. In the same report of the World Bank, it speaks what is the first factor of the first factor that contributes to inequality in South Africa is racism. It's racism. Where white people control 85% of the economy. 85%. You go in the corporate sector, 62% of managers are white. In a country where you have probably 85% or where the majority of the population are black people. The only thing that the ANC have is a position in the ANC is actually the ruling party, not the ruling class. There's a difference between the ruling party and the ruling class. The ruling class, these are the white people that you see there every day. You go to Santon, you go to this fancy, to this suburb, you go to Norwood. Black people is white. It's white people. You go to Cape Town, it's white people. They control the economy. You go to Stellenbosch, it's white people. What do black people have here? No. Now, when you are misguided and you don't have, you don't want to think, like Julius Malema always said that people are non-thinkers, you end up becoming like a dudula.
So these are like loopholes they're looking for, scapegoats rather, a way to like.
African politician has been like that. When there was this phenomenon called Ghana Must Go in Nigeria, when they expelled, I don't know, 2 million, I don't know actually the numbers of Ghanaians that were expelled from Nigeria. It was because of that. Because they failed. When politicians are like that, when the economic policies have failed, they must find a scapegoat. And the scapegoat is always the immigrant. You go to America today, the scapegoat is the immigrant. You go to the UK, the scapegoat is the immigrant. You go to France, the scapegoat is the immigrant. Wherever you go to all these economic superpowers, whenever the economy is not doing well, one must be blamed. It's usually the immigrant. It's the same thing that is happening here. They must find a scapegoat. And the scapegoat is always the immigrant. The immigrant will always be, if you decide to immigrate to America, you'll be a scapegoat. You'll be a scapegoat.
You're discouraging me.
Don't worry, you'll be a scapegoat. No, you will get some benefits there, but you'll be a scapegoat. When things become difficult, you'll be a scapegoat. Recently I was working on an academic article on these delivery bikes. Wherever you go, it's done by immigrants. You go to Germany, you go to France, you go to the UK, it's done by immigrants. You go to America, the taxi industry is controlled by immigrants. Those are jobs that are done by immigrants. Those are the lowest, those are low jobs. When you're in an economy, a capitalist economy, actually it's like that. A capitalist economy. One thing that when you're a non-thinker and you turn into a thinker, you will understand that wherever there's capitalism, there's a class that must be oppressed. Capitalists thrive in low wages. When you're a capitalist, you are like, okay, today because this month I made 1 million, but I want to buy a yacht. But I have these employees, the salary that I'm going to give them, no. I must find someone who can do the very same job at a cheaper price. And who can do that? It's the immigrant, because he's undocumented. He has no right. Because if you wake up in the morning, start complaining and say, okay, we don't have papers, I gave you a job, you can leave. So they are scared. So that's how they do, especially in the construction industry, especially in the mines and these zamazamas, Those are undocumented people. They are just being exploited. The immigrant is always being exploited. That's why when even you speak of human trafficking in South Africa, the first victim of human trafficking in South Africa are not South Africans. It's the immigrants. People from Somalia, there are so many reports. The problem, people don't read, my brother. People don't read. And when you don't read, you are not different from someone who has never been to school. If there are so many reports, government reports, you have books written on that. The majority of people that are victim of human trafficking are immigrants. Somalis, Ethiopian, even the Chinese. Recently, I think it's 2 or 3 days ago, there are some people that have been sentenced to 20 years in prison for human trafficking. Chinese, they traffic Chinese. The immigrant is especially the people from neighboring countries, Zimbabwe, Lesotho. So Ethiopia is a bit far. You have Somalia. Those are the victims of human trafficking. Yes, it exists also. Some South Africans are being trafficked, the kids, the women. Yes, and speaking of crime, but to understand, basically to understand the problem of South Africa, you need to go to the root cause. Otherwise, you're just gonna heal the symptoms. And if you heal the symptoms, the problem is still there. It will come again. It will come again. It will come again.
What are your thoughts on the coalition government so far? Do you think there's been a progress? Do you think it looks promising, or does it look hopeless? So what is your report for them this afternoon?
Even if you give this government of this GNU 10 years, there's nothing there.
Or we should add the EFF. I think they'll do a better job.
No. I'm not saying that the EFF. I would love to see the EFF in power. I would love to do that.
I was waiting for that.
And they will definitely make a change, a positive change.
Okay.
Because they understand the root cause of the problem in South Africa.
Okay.
Who is going to fix South Africa? The current ANC? No. The current ANC cannot. They've been there for 30 years. You want to give them again 40 years, 50 years? They've been there.
They're joined by other people now. So what do you think of that so far?
There's nothing. You cannot mix. You cannot take the ANC and the DA together. The ANC, when you look at the policy are socialist policies. And you have the DA that is capitalist. Capitalism and socialism together, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And you include also the PA. Just can only scream Amahambe, Abahambe, Abahambe. You take those small parties, you put them together, there's nothing. The GNU has been free, it's failed. Look at unemployment. Did it change? It didn't change. It did not change. But the DA will always blame the ANC. But they are part of the government. There's no hope with hope with the DA. The only solution lies that because now it's the time of coalition in South Africa. Now it's coalition politics. Yes, the ANCs, we cannot rely at the moment. We cannot rely on the ANC. Maybe after 2027, when they go to a conference, probably another faction, because this faction of Cyril Ramaphosa, I think they've served their terms and they failed. They failed dismally. Probably the force them the ANC will change. People who usually believe in what they call in the ANC radical economic transformation, RET. Probably those people can now take over the ANC so that they can work together with the EFF. They can work together with the MK party. All these black parties must come together. That has been the problem here recently in South Africa. These black parties cannot unite. Especially the leftists. They cannot unite. It's just a battle of egos probably there. They must come together and change the lives of black people. You cannot change the life of black people with a white politician whose father was a member of the National Party, or his grandfather was a member of the National Party. The DA. You think the DA, those white people in the DA, when they see a Sbusiso, they know, I want to change the life of Sbusiso. No, 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 no.
Are you ready to take your wife's surname?
That will never happen.
The Constitutional Court just passed an interesting law that has the country going up and down. Women are now given the right to, if ever in marriage, the husband can take their surname.
Yeah, I saw the ruling. Though it's equality, those are the consequences of equality. Yeah. South Africa, when you if there's a country probably in the world where you have too much freedom, where there's too much equality, probably it's South Africa, because that's the constitution. That is also controlled by the Bill of Rights. It speaks of equality, equal access to opportunities. That's the constitution of South Africa. I'm an Africanist also. I believe that our law, we must use indigenous laws that should guide us. We cannot always do things like, because in South Africa they use the Roman Dutch law. They use the Roman Dutch law. Yes, they've been proponent like the deputy president of MKP, Dr. Trope. That speaks of we need to use our indigenous laws to fix our problems. That is also true. We have African problems, we must fix it with our own knowledge and wisdom. We cannot use the wisdom of the white men all the time, of Europeans, to come and fix our problems. The recent ruling of the Constitutional Court to declare a part of the I forgot even the name of the name of the act to be partially and unconstitutional. Those are the consequences of adopting the foreign policy, foreign ideologies. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, because why does a wife takes the surname of the husband? That's something that we need to talk about. It's not something that men just wake up in the morning and say. Some people wake up in the morning, no, you must take my surname. No. When you go in the African culture, I don't want to homogenize the African culture, but in the majority of African cultures, when you marry, there's something called the bride price, or lobola. Yes, it's not. Yes, it's a token of appreciation, but you start your family. It's an extension. When the man marries a woman, it's an extension of his family. That's why she takes the surname of the husband. Now you wake up in the morning, you want to take the surname of your wife. Upon what basis? There's no cultural basis on that. It's just because of the Roman. Equality does not exclude difference. Equality doesn't exclude difference. We are equal, but we are different. Naturally, we are different. We have, in our cultures, the man has a position, the man has a role to play. In majority of African cultures, the wife also has a role to play. Equality doesn't exclude difference. We are equal, but we have also different responsibilities. Can't be that because we are equal, we are equal. Yes, we are equal. So there's an homogeneity in that equality. No. Naturally, I'm strong. Naturally, as a man, I'm stronger than the woman, naturally speaking. So if we're equal, then let's go in the ring. Let's who's the strongest man in the world now? Okay, let's say you take Francine Ngannou. Yes, you take Francine Ngannou. There's also, I don't know, females who are into those MMA. Okay, because it's equality, let them go and fight in the octagon. No, because it's equality. No, naturally the man is stronger than the woman. That's why in certain jobs they prefer men. In certain jobs, women are also better than men when it comes to certain jobs.
No, I mean, many would say they're not just being given the chance. Once given the chance, they can prove to do the very same job?
Yes, there are certain jobs where I'm talking about a receptionist. When you go in different companies, majority of receptionists are female because I believe naturally women are better receptionists than men. Naturally, you have some jobs where men are better than men are better than men are better than women. Some jobs in the construction jobs, lifting bricks, men are they need manpower. They even call it manpower.
There's strong women nowadays, bro.
Yes, they are there. They are there. But what is the proportion? What is the question is what is the proportion? And what is the proportion in that? Naturally, women are better caregivers. Naturally speaking.
They would look at that as oppressing them, bringing them back to the...
No, caregiving, I'm not just talking of staying home.
Yeah, because now they're saying you want us to stay home and stay in the kitchen and cook all day.
No, I'm talking about caregiving. Working in a... how do you call this place where old people report yes, caregiving. I'm talking about caregiving. Women are better than that than men.
So you think I, for example, would not do a good job if I was to replace them?
You can do it, but in proportion. Yeah. I'm talking of proportionally.
So
women are better than that compared to men. Women are better than men. That's equality doesn't not exclude difference. Maybe with this feminist, misguided feminists, because when you look at the issue of the feminists that we see today, this modern feminist, completely different from the former feminists.
Misconceptualization.
The original movement was women having equal opportunities because they were oppressed. But these ones here, you are confused. We shouldn't forget that we are Africans. We are Africans. We have our own belief. We cannot just look at there probably certain practices that are updated now. And we must also remember, when you look at the history, why they have allowed in Europe, why they have allowed women to work. They have allowed women to work so that they can be paid low wages compared to men. It was also, I will give you a job, but it's going to be another form of oppression. I will pay you less than a man. That's why they wanted to send women to work, so that they can be oppressed. They have low wages than men. It's actually, maybe one day we'll talk also about all this. We cannot go into the details. Just to come to your question, personally, if I marry a woman, there's no way I will take my woman, because surnames. Look at the surnames.
There's no way.
Surnames, surnames. Okay, I have my father's surname. It's my father's surname. So if you tell me that I marry a woman, I'm gonna take probably a father or a mother's surname. It makes no sense. We must see how the evolutions of surnames. Surnames. No. When I marry a woman, I'm the head. A lot of women probably don't want to hear that, but once there's a couple, a man and a woman, the husband is the head. What happened inside that marriage concern two people, but the man is the head. It has been like that in Africa. In the majority of African cultures, the man is the head. That's why the wife takes the surname of the husband, start a family, and you continue.
That's a lot. I would personally, once again, sit here the whole day. But we have to end it, since I'm looking at my time right now. We're running a bit out of it. But so we're going to end it this way, a little something we do with every guest. I know this is catching you off guard, but it catches everybody off guard.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the final 4 questions, and I need you to just give me one-liners. So all these 4 questions, just one-line answers, one sentence. Are you ready?
Great.
Question number one, if you had to describe your purpose for the time being, what would that be?
My purpose,
Yes.
as I said, I've always believed that my purpose is to bring positive change into people's life. How I do that, it can be different. I can do it through politics to bring about change in people's life.
For me, though, I think you can bring about change in my life. I mentioned I'm choosing my own way of bringing change into my life.
Then you are a good candidate for economic freedom. We need to fight for economic freedom. You're gonna have economic freedom, and
you're gonna bring into politics.
you're gonna be. We must be in charge of our minerals and take back the land.
Question number two. What is the best advice you've ever received? If you were to choose an advice that sticked out the most for you to this day, that you can label as the best advice that somebody ever gave, what would that be?
I've received a lot of advice. I've always received a lot of advice. This is a bit tricky. This is a bit tricky. I'm a Christian to begin with. The best advice that not probably given by Jesus Christ himself.
Okay. What did he say?
That you find it in the Bible. That has been in my mind all the time. It's called the golden rule.
Okay.
Do unto others as you will others do unto you. Yeah, that's the best advice that I received from Jesus Christ. But that's been guiding me for probably the past 15 years. Yes.
Third, what is on the other side of the table the worst advice somebody has ever given you? When you think about it today, you're like, this is the worst advice that I ever received. Ever.
Oh, this is tricky. The worst advice. Someone ever
pick one, that's you just like, now that you think about it, you didn't regret lending your ears to such.
Oh, I can't remember of a worst advice. Maybe an influence, probably advice. Maybe I can't remember, but the influence of people. Yeah, maybe when you grow up, the influence, yeah, negative influence. Yeah, probably negative influence. The thing that probably I can regret. Is it regretting or bad influence? Was probably to run after women. Probably. That's probably the worst influence of my life.
That's the worst influence of your
Yes,
life?
that has been the worst influence of my life.
Okay.
When we start that life, for you to stop is not easy. Yeah, that's probably the bad influence. Probably the bad influence. Not probably, that's the bad influence. That's a bad influence. But advice, no, I can't remember any.
Lastly, this one usually gets people. If you were given a chance to pass out a rule or a law that everyone else in the world would have to follow, what is that going to be?
No alcohol. No alcohol. If I were to be a president given power, I'll ban alcohol. I'll ban cigarettes.
Okay.
And I'll ban prostitution.
It's a harsh president.
Yes. No. I'll ban alcohol. Alcohol. No, there are so many reports.
Who wouldn't want you as a president after you said those things?
There are so many people are just in denial.
Yeah.
There's no one out there who benefits from alcohol.
So
there are families. I'll ban alcohol, cigarettes, and prostitution. Should be banned.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm a little bit out of this.
There are so many reports that speaks of alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol have destroyed families. Seriously destroyed families. Go to hospital, public hospital on weekends and see the result of alcohol, how people stab each other for stupid things. Cigarette, When I'm talking about cigarette, look at what cigarette does to people out there. Cancer, vape, all these vapes, I'll ban them. And prostitution. Prostitution is dehumanizing.
That there are counter arguments though, because there happens to be individuals who now do it for say as a way of passing. And we hear this story where like this young lady does this because this is how she gets her money.
Go and ask her.
Is banning her means of employment.
Ask her if she's enjoying doing that. Sleeping with 10 women in a 10%, 10 men in a day.
Bread at the end of the day. Without that, there's no bread.
Yes, it's dehumanizing. It's dehumanizing. There's no prostitute out there who will tell you that I'm enjoying my job. You can ask to Elon Musk, are you enjoying your job? He will tell you I enjoy my job. You go to a prostitute out there, do you enjoy your job? She'll just tell you that I do that because I want to eat. That's why we need economic freedom. When we reach economic freedom, these women are not going to go and do that job. It's dehumanizing. It's really dehumanizing. You can try to have a conversation. Maybe invite one or a former, and have a conversation, an open conversation with them. You will cry of what they go through. I had conversation with some of them. It's the hardship because someone has paid you for that act. It will treat you like an animal just because you pay that money. That's not even enough. It's dehumanizing, that job. It's dehumanizing.
So those are your three things you ban if ever you were to.
Yes, I will. I will do that. Yeah. I know people will not like it, but we do it for humanity.
Yes. Bro, thank you so much for hosting us. I'm extremely honored. It meant a lot. I mostly enjoyed this. I hope you did just as much, and we hope that we're gonna have a lot more of this in the future, of course, depending on you. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until we see each other again.